clearly the most important thing for any social movement that believes in human freedom, or any vision of human freedom, would be create an economic system which would maximize individual initiative. The question is, can capitalism ever become that system which allows for democratic initiative for anybody with a bright idea to go ahead and pursue it? There are various structural reasons why one would believe that not to be the case. There is a certain dynamic within the system as a whole, which means you could be the nicest person in the world, you could have the best intentions possible, you could love your workers more than yourself. It doesn't matter. If you're in a competitive marketplace that's structured in a certain way, there are constraints. And there's no reason to imagine those constraints will go away if everyone means well. One of the most compelling documents I've ever seen was during the Bush administration, a group of CEOs wrote a letter to the president, actually, of the United States. They were mainly people in energy companies, essentially saying, we need greater government control on energy production to contain global warming. And these are the guys who are the heads of energy companies. Basically saying, stop us before we kill again. We don't want to destroy the world, but we are compelled by the structure of our position. We're answerable only to our stockholders. We have to make the maximum amount of profit possible for them, regardless of our personal feelings. We don't like the results. Create laws to stop us from doing this. And I think that brings home, very clearly what some of the structural contradictions are. But second of all, I think we have to think about labor. Is it possible to have a capitalist system which is, say, rewarding entrepreneurial risk, but anybody getting a job is taking a risk as well, and the rewards are not equally distributed to the people who are taking that risk. So the very logic of capitalism has two standards for reward of risk, one for people who are in charge of things and the other for people who are essentially at someone else's orders. Now, I think anybody who, again, believes in human freedom would not like to see a society in which most people spend most of the day being ordered around by somebody else. The question is it possible to have such a society organized on capitalist basis? Again, it strikes me that any system in which you had something like, say, workers' cooperatives, democratically organized internal organizations competing in the market, even if they were competing on a marketplace, would not be something that we would end up calling capitalism, and would not be possible under capitalism as currently conceived or taught. So it seems to me we've got at a period where capitalism has really got, it had a good historical run, but on every major measure we can find, it's running out of steam. It's no longer able to provide greater equality, it's creating greater inequality. It's no longer able to create technological innovation on anything like the scale it had before. If anything, it seems to be a break against such innovation. It no longer seems to be able to provide relative levels of peace and security for people. And at exactly the moment where it seems to be failing on all fronts, it seems surprising to me that there is this sudden movement within people who 30 years ago would have been against it to say, well, maybe we can save it from itself.